The Golden Ticket Awards are an award ceremony that is hosted in a random American theme park each year to celebrate the coasters and theme parks across the season. Now, in these awards, they give awards for best rides, best theme parks, best sustainability, and stuff like that. So in today's video, I'm actually going to be not really delving into the actual ceremony. I'm going to be predicting the top 10 steel coasters list. Now, this is a list that has been held over many years, before even, like, I think it went back to before, like, 2000. I think it started in the 2000s, I don't know when in the 2000s, but yeah, we'll get on to my predictions later in the video. And now, obviously, there are other categories I could come across, but there are kind of just this, like, the best wooden coaster is Phoenix each year, the best water park is always Schlitterbahn, and just stuff like that. So I don't think it'll be worth me going, oh no, this is going to be the same as this year, this is going to be the same as last year, this is going to be this is going to be this, because it happened the last 10 years. So I feel like that'd be quite pointless. So yeah, anyway, I'll stop yapping. If you do enjoy this video, then please subscribe, and let's get into the top 10. Now, as you know, there have been many different amazing coasters that have opened in the year of 2025. One of those being Stardust Racers, and this is at the recently opened Epic Universe. And so, obviously, if you do not follow the Golden Ticket Awards, then they actually do not really appreciate Universal and Disney parks as much as they probably should. Not a lot of their coasters get into the top, get into the high ranks, and their kind of parks are kind of less appreciated than, like, say, Dollywood, which has been in contention with Europa Park to win the best park since the last 10 years or so. So yeah, anyway, enough yapping about that. So in 10th place, I have Zadra. Now this is a RMC, which is based in Energylandia, Poland. Now, I know what you may be thinking, James, how can you rank coasters? They're not football players. They don't change each year. Well, I don't know either, so I'm just going to go with it, and this is kind of a complete guess. Obviously, I've not ridden every single coaster on this list and be like, oh, that was a bit rough, I just seated on a wheel seat, and I think that was slightly rattly. No, I'm not going to be like that, because I haven't ridden any of them. But, so, yeah, I think I have Zadra in 10th place, because I think there are better coasters that have opened this year that go above it. But I think it's a very good coaster overall. Obviously, Europeans, because it's an American award ceremony, they're obviously going to look down on European like, oh, scummy, oh, I hate Europeans. That was a terrible, I can do better American accents, I promise. But anyway, so yeah, I have Zadra in 10th place. Now, moving on to 9th place, we have Maverick, which is one of 3 coasters that are from Cedar Point on this list. So, Maverick in 9th place, because I just think that there are better coasters at Cedar Point, although Cedar Point is they don't really need any other rides, although they just got Siren's Curse this year, which is obviously a great addition as well, because, I mean, like, they haven't got a flying coaster. That's my next, they're going to get a flying coaster next. They haven't got one of those. They've literally got everything else, but apart from that. So yeah, Maverick in 9th. I think it is very underrated Intamin. Obviously, it doesn't get the appreciation like Velocicoaster does, because it's not like has the Jurassic World theming and stuff like that. It's just kind of next to Steve, and Steve will come up later in this list. Don't worry. We love Steve. That's not related to Minecraft. So yeah, we have Maverick in 9th place simply because I think there are, like Zadra, there are better coasters above it that did open this year, and therefore pushed the ranking down. So yeah, that is why I have Maverick in 9th place. Better, very good ride, but I don't think it's up to the standard of the top 5, 6, 7, and 8. Oh yeah, I was gonna like do it individually. I don't know why. So in 8th place, I actually have Taron at Phantasialand. Now this is a Intamin double launch coaster, just like Velocicoaster and Maverick, but I think this one slightly edges Maverick because of the kind of the theming, and the just kind of general atmosphere, like, you know, Klugheim, and was Klugheim, what, the German names for Phantasialand are really weird. Ruckberg, that's it, Ruckberg is Fly, and Klugheim is for Taron. I get confused sometimes because they're just so German. You can get me. Anyway, so yeah, I think Taron goes 8th because I don't think it is quite as good as, obviously I haven't ridden these rides, so I'm just going to completely shot in the dark, but for the content, so Taron in 7th, I think, because it is a very, very good ride from what I've seen. It has great theming, great rock work, but I think the kind of intensity, because that doesn't have any inversion, doesn't really please the GP who are like, oh, I want to go upside down 50 million times, like, oh my god, it's a 50 million mile an hour launch, you know what I mean. They're more impressed by the crazy elements, not just airtime and intensity, so I think that is what they're trying to do. They're it's more for the enthusiasts. Taron is really. So that is why I have Taron in 8th. So in 7th place I have Ride to Happiness, which is based in Plopsaland in Germany. No, Plopsaland in Belgium. I couldn't get my words out for a second. Plopsaland, which is home to Ride to Happiness and Anubis, and some other decent rides. It is, I believe, the closest major park when you exit the Channel Tunnel. I could be wrong, but yeah, it's a simple. You drive through France for a bit, and then you get to Ride to Happiness in Japan. I could be wrong about that. Let me know in the comments, or I can just look at it myself on Google Maps. I don't have to edit it in. I've put Ride to Happiness in 7th place because I think it is one of, if not the best launch coasters in the world. If not, it's the best spinning coaster in the world, because there are not many that do what they do, like Ride to Happiness. The only other extreme spinner is actually Time Traveller at Dollywood, or is it? No, is it Dollywood? I don't know. Somewhere like that. I put Ride to Happiness there because I think simply there are 2 new coasters that have opened this year, both in America, that are slightly above it, and I'll get onto those next. So in 6th place, I have Stardust Racers. Now, this is the first of the new coasters that have opened in 2025. Like I mentioned before, this is based at the new Universal Epic Universe. It has lots of good airtime moments, intensity, launches, theming. It has the whole lot. But as I said before, Universal are looked down on by Gold Ticket Awards. I don't know why. But yeah, that is just how they kind of rank it, I guess. And they wanna appreciate not the global brand, even though all of these are kind of owned by Cedar Fair or Six Flags. Sorry, they're one now. I forgot about that. I don't know why they did that anyway. But yes, Stardust Racers. Although I have ranked this below the other Universal coaster, I know what one you're thinking of. In my rankings. But I think new coasters don't generally be kind of put where they deserve straight away. They kind of have to build it up just so they don't kind of get overhyped and be like, oh my god, this is the best ride in the world, and then 5 years later it's like, oh, it wasn't really. That was a bit overrated, So yeah, I have Stardust Racers in 6th. I've done my top 11. I'm really stupid. I put 11 coasters down on my list, even though... Okay, so whatever I said before, just up the number by 1. Okay, so yeah, Zarja 11th, Maverick 10th, Taron 9th, Ride to Happiness 8th, Stardust 7th, Top Thrill 2 6th. There we go. It is what it is. I am really stupid. So yeah, Stardust Racers in 6th, because I think that it doesn't really have the oomph for it to be straightened up, because they just don't do that. They don't boost it up to number 1 already. Although number 1 has been the number 1 for 8 straight years, and I think that is, if you know what that is, then you can probably guess what I've put as number 1. So in number 5, I have not Gwazi, that was a wooden coaster that got demolished. Iron Gwazi, that replaced Gwazi in Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Now I have kept this in 5th place. I'm actually going to be putting all the 2024 rankings on where they put it, just so you compare where I think if they move down or up, you know what I mean. I put Gwazi in 5th, because I think that Busch Gardens hasn't really had the hype this year, and therefore some of their rides may be looked down on, instead of the other coasters that have had new rides, and therefore when they look at the new ride, they're like, oh, well, if I'm going to do this one, I may as well look at the others. Wait, I haven't even done 6th. So yeah, Stardust is in 7th, and 6th is Top Thrill 2. I'm just really like confused right now. So yeah, Gwazi in 5th. But in 6th, I have Top Thrill 2 at Cedar Point. Now, I know what you're thinking. James, Top Thrill 2 opened in 2024. Well, you're wrong. Because, I mean, it did open in 2024, but it was only open for a few days, and therefore the rankings were like, let's not include it in 2024 and include it in 2025 instead. So, yeah. So I think Top Thrill 2 is going to go in 6th, because I think it is slightly better than Stardust Racers, because, I don't know, that as I said before, Universal aren't really, like, kind of appreciated, like, oh my god, they're the best park in the world. Now, obviously, I'm not an American, so I don't really know much about kind of the history and whatever. I mean, I do a bit, but you know what I mean. I'm fully knowledgeable on the American coasters as I am of the British coasters, obviously. So yeah, Top 2 in 6th, and Gwazi in 5th. So in 4th place, I have Steel Vengeance, also at Cedar Point. I've actually put this here because I think Millenium Force has always been like 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. And so I'll get onto that later, but, you know, Steel Vengeance is one of those rides where, you know, it's always going to be known as one of the greatest coasters to ever exist, because of the sheer kind of aura that it has. You know, it's like at the back of the park, of the Lake Erie surrounding it. It's just like, it's so well known. It is many people's number ones. I just think that even though it may not be like the most kind of thrilling in itself, I think it just has to be up there, you know. So anyway, going up to 3rd place, I have Millenium Force, also at Cedar Point. Now, you may be wondering, how the hell is Millenium Force above Cedar Point? No, it isn't Cedar Point, above Steel Vengeance. My answer to that is, I don't really know. But the top 5 has been the same for like 5 years. So I've just randomly put them in an order that I think it could be. So yeah, that is my complete guess. I think Millenium Force is going to go back up to 3rd. I don't really have a reason like all of these rankings. I've just been yapping this whole time, really. So yeah, that is my reasoning for putting Millenium Force there. Now in 2nd place, this is the same 2nd place that was last year. Velocicoaster at Universal Islands of Adventure. Now, I've put Velocicoaster here because number 1 has been the number 1 for like 10 years, and I do not think that it's ever going to be topped for, I don't know. I mean, they're not just going to randomly demote it, are they? So yeah, Velocicoaster is the best coaster in the world, because I've actually ridden that one. I haven't ridden any of the others. And I can comfortably say that it's the best ride to ever exist, even though I haven't done any of the others. I just know for a fact. Like, I'm just like that. I'm psychic. But anyway, so yeah, Velocicoaster in 2nd, which leaves number 1 to be Fury 325. Wow, no one saw that coming, did they? So yeah, if you have taken note of the Golden Ticket Awards, you would know that Fury 325 wins like every single time. I don't know why. There are other other Giga coasters out there. I don't really know why it gets number 1 each year. Oh, and also the awards ceremony is actually in Carowinds this year, which is where Fury 325 is. So they're obviously not. They're not just gonna be like, Fury 325, you've had number 1 for like 9 years now, but as we're here in Carowinds, let's just say Millenium Force gets number 1 again. And the Carowinds employees are not going to like that, so obviously they're just going to keep Fury 325 in 1st place. I don't really see a reason why they would not do that. So there are my rankings for the top. I was supposed to be top 10, but I made it top 11 because I'm really stupid. As I said before, I don't really have a reason for any of these rankings. They're not. It's not like the Ballon d'Or rankings where like, yeah, Mbappe was a bit crap this year. They're not like the roller coasters. They don't change. They don't kind of adapt. You know. So that is why I've just kind of put them in a sort of random order, although kind of really educating where they were last year and basing off of that. So yeah, if you did enjoy this quite random video, then please do subscribe to the channel, as I said before. And so the award ceremony will actually be happening the day I'm posting this. So we'll hope that I get them all right. I probably won't, but we'll see. I'll actually be reacting to these predictions in the later video, so be sure to stay tuned for that. I'll see you all in the next one. Cheerio.